got done watching the first 4 episodes for Cassian Andor's brand new Star Wars series, Andor. This is where the rebellion begins, and this is going to be my non-spoiler review and a little bit of a longer reaction than I could have provided when the social media embargo released last week. Now, I will have a full spoiler review up tonight at midnight once all the episodes are up for you to play. The first 3 episodes are premiering tonight, and then episode 4 and go on from there. Now, just to kind of give you guys my overall thoughts on a little bit of a background context, Rogue One, I know many of you guys love, and I'm probably going to be planning a special Rogue One in 2022 video because I have not watched Rogue One in probably over 3 or 4 years, and I liked Rogue One when I first saw it. I think there are elements in there that I absolutely love and adore. Love the first half, love the third half. There's just something in the middle arc that doesn't jive too hard with me, and I'm hoping that this next rewatch will really bring that to life. But with that said, when they announced the Andor series, I wasn't too excited for it. I thought, this is a cool idea. You can do a lot of interesting things with this, but what is going to be the build-up to this? So now after watching the show and, seeing certain trailers, but really staying away from the entire marketing, I was very pleasantly surprised to see what this show really is. And again, this is a non-spoiler review. I'm really going to stay very vague when it comes down to plot details and stories. You can get a lot of that in my more spoiler reviews. But when you look at this show, it is a show from the perspective of the people under the Empire. No Jedi, not even really a rebellion yet, and the rebellion that you do meet in here is very new, at least from the episodes that I had seen. You're very much just watching people who are in despair and living under the Empire. And we don't see much of that in there. We've seen stuff like this in books and comics within Star Wars, but nothing within the live-action shows and cartoons yet. Maybe sometimes Clone Wars touched on this, but again, Clone Wars didn't have the Empire yet. So there's a lot of added elements into here, and to see the struggles that a lot of people are going through, as well as Andor himself, gives a lot more depth to Cassian himself, and I think Diego Luna is absolutely magnificent in this role. Just from the little tidbits that we got of him in Rogue One, you really got a sense of what kind of soldier and rebel he is. And in this series, that kind of continues. You see where he gets that grit from, and it was very pleasantly shocking to see all of that, and his performance is once again wonderful. Now, before I dive a little bit deeper, I do want to remind you guys to make sure to hit that like and subscribe button, as well as comment down below your guys' thoughts. Are you guys excited for Andor? Are you not? Let me know down below. I'm really curious to hear your guys' thoughts on this one. And again, hit that like and subscribe button, because if you are here, that means the Force is with you. Diving back into my pros, one of the other things that I really want to give a shout out to is the way that they actually structure out the show. Now, I've only seen the first 4 episodes, but they really did a great job of structuring episodes 1, 2, and then diving into 3. Now, 1 and 2 add to the slow burn feel. This is not your typical Star Wars series. This is a more matured out spy thriller in the Star Wars genre, which puts the spy genre and characters and story first than the Star Wars universe. There's places in here that you see, there's planets that you understand, and there's names that you hear, you're like, I know what that is. But the way that it kind of all lingers and settles in is really fascinating. And again, adds the added counts that the Star Wars universe is really needing. I'm happy that we have Andor now, because it's a different type of story. Yes, we know who Andor is. Yes, we know who Mon Mothma is. And yes, we know that Saw Gerrera is eventually going to show up in this show as well. But it's those elements that you look at and you're like, all these other characters you don't know much about. And prequel shows, while maybe you already know the fate of certain characters, it's the prequel about the characters that are also in there, and you wonder, are they still alive in this Star Wars universe? Where did they end up going? What are they all about? There's that lore, that added bonus that you want to learn about, and something that I pleasantly was surprised by in the end of the day, in the way that it kind of started to make me feel for some of these new characters. And I can't wait to continue that, because the way that episode 3 takes off, like episodes 1 and 2 are really good. Great starting point to bring this all to life. It's very smart that they decided to do 3 episodes at the start, because the 3rd episode is one of my favorite Star Wars live-action series yet. I would say that is better than anything that Boba Fett had. And I had a lot of issues with Boba Fett. I still enjoyed it, but that's saying a lot, that even some of the highest points of Boba Fett could not even hit some of the earliest moments of Andor, and I really do mean that. See, episode 3 is such a great build-up and an ending to the first arc of Andor, but building off of that, the action in there is great. It all feels paid off because of what was set up in the first 2 episodes, and as adding in there as well, Nicholas Brittle's score in here is just awe-inspiring. But that 3rd episode, a lot of shout out must be given to the editing and the script. The dialogue was sharp and neatly written, but it was the editing that really brought this to life, because you do see some flashbacks to Cassian Andor's childhood in these first 3 episodes, and at first I was like, it's kind of dragging the pacing at times. By the 3rd episode, it really hit home and again makes you care a little bit more about Andor. And that's what this is. It's not just a show about Andor. Andor is, of course, a central character, but there is a lot more to this. You get a little bit more of an understanding of the people, the Empire, and, of course, even more of the political scheming going beyond the scenes. And I know when you say political scheming, that is a little bit nervesome because some of the political stuff in Star Wars is not great. But in here, from what I have seen so far, it is. And it makes me excited. It continues to excite me overall. One of the biggest elements that I've really wanted Star Wars to dive into a little bit deeper is the underworld of Star Wars. And you're starting to see that in here because the rebellion had to start from somewhere. And you can kind of see where it is starting from. So overall, Star Wars Andor's brand new series is one of the most captivating things that Disney Plus has released yet. It's easily the most mature thing. It's cinematically the best looking thing. This does feel like a movie. The fact that they shot on location, you really see that. And Tony Gilroy really just shoots this in an awe-inspiring way. It's not your action-packed Star Wars show. There is some action in here, and it's great, but it's all built up in a freshly, timely manner. This is more of a spy thriller in the Star Wars universe, and I can't get enough. I cannot wait for episode 5, and I can't wait to see your guys' thoughts. So thank you so much again for watching this. Make sure again to hit that like and subscribe button, and of course, until next time, may the Force be with us all.